I'm so nervous. I'm trying to get my heart to go down back into my chest instead of my throat. Hello, hello. Hey, Sam. Just waiting a couple minutes for everyone to get here. I'll usually play it with that angle. I'm like at the end of it. Hi. Hello, my friend. Oh, man. All right. We are here together. I have a smoothie to drink. What do you have? Mine's like cherries and strawberries and water and some Plantago. That's fun. That's a Bellafone. Bellafone. Oh, green tea with hibiscus and chaga. That sounds lovely. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know what time it is. Let's see, 2:02. One more minute. I'm here to talk about the gifts that you can give yourself on the dark time. So this talk is geared towards earth lovers. You don't have to live in a city to resonate with what I'm talking about, because I feel like it is most accessible if I give examples of how you can use this practice no matter who you are. And if you're listening live with me, then just let me know if the situation doesn't apply to you, because I want to make sure, as I'm explaining the benefits of turning off the lights at night and giving yourself the gift of darkness, I'm trying to explain it for everyone. Hi. Is it Bobo? Bobo book? I think it's 3 minutes past. Yeah. So this isn't a new thing for me, the whole gifts of the dark. I remember in 2016, I convinced my whole house. Right then I had a girlfriend and we had our young daughter. And I was like, we're not going to have the lights on all summer at nighttime. And I learned a lot of things from that. I went out and bought like those little kerosene lighters from the thrift store. And it's really a primal thing, I believe, to gather around the flame when it's dark outside. And now we have almost a disconnection or a disarray of all of our energy. And I don't think that we're giving ourselves enough energy. Oh. Okay, for all the yes, this Abobo book is named after our former dog, Bobo. Oh, I love a good dog story. Holy crap. That's sweet. Okay. So I've taken back the night, and I want to explain to you what you can do to take back your night too, because our time and our attention is being sold, literally. And I'm just going to pause a minute for a little bit of a Bruja type Everest Asher prayer. Om Namo, Guru Dev Namo. Please let me speak this clearly. I want to leave my personality to side and just do what I can to serve in this crazy time that we're living in right now. I've started doing this for about like 3 weeks straight. I have a ritual where at the end of the day, I'm like looking at the sunset. My eyes are connecting to the sunset. And then by the time the sun's down all the way and it's dark enough to where I couldn't read a book outside, then my phone is off. And I didn't do that before because I have very low willpower to just stay off my phone. I even just think of things to Google, or I'm like, oh, I want to listen to this song. And all of a sudden I'm scrolling and I'm on my phone and it's 11:30. No, it's 2 a.m. No. Can you relate? Does anyone relate to at nighttime, especially? You're like low energy at the end of the day, and you're more likely to like spin out and do any of your bad habits. Like, so I don't want to say bad habits, but the habits that you don't like, that you don't favor, you really can spin out on those at the end of the day. Anyone else? So, if you're someone that scrolls a lot, you probably wouldn't want to do that at the end of the day. Back to my experiment. So the whole summer, and as you probably know, the summers are when the amount of day is longest and the night is shortest. So I really feel like it's a good seasonal thing to do, is in the summers, if you turn off your lights and block out the light, I'll talk about ways you can do that, or at least turn off all of the content that you're about to indulge in, including like unhealthy foods. And, I'm talking about like material things, and I'm talking about getting as dark as you can at the natural dark time. Okay. So my experiment went really well. I learned a lot of things. I went through a lot of candles, and I agreed that as long as it was like a firelight, then I could use it at nighttime to see. Because, you need to see to be able to read and write at nighttime. So I'm not saying there's anything against taking in content at nighttime. I'm just saying that it's a good thing when you can balance all the stuff you do during the day with a little inactivity, a little silence, a little lack of input. Yeah. So fast forward, I said it was 2016, but really it was earlier than that. Fast forward a whole bunch of years and a new baby. Gosh, we have 4 kids together. We live in Northern California. We're gardeners by profession. Hi. And we try to live by the cycles of the seasons. And lately, I've been trying to live by the cycles of the moon. So when we plant things goes by the moon. When I rest goes by the moon. My cycle kind of lines up pretty well with the moon, even though I'm on birth control. And then, just the cycles of the day and night is me getting more consistent, as in like me really anchoring down on when I can see and when I can't see, and then really only taking in natural elements such as, visualizing, breath work, manifesting, journaling, reading positive books, uplifting. I don't mean to be I don't mean to use such polarity, but I just mean like something that's uplifting, someone that feels like a little bit more joyful. So you could do things like that at nighttime. Let's see. The family unit that I'm in now, is delicate. Please let me say this beautifully. They don't like having the lights off at night. And I do. And they like to watch Netflix. They like to play video games with their friends. They like to be on their tablet. They like to not rest and sleep and find quiet. So from my end, it's not like I'm like I'm like privileged and grateful to have a lot of land around me and not a lot of light pollution. But I'm also surrounded by people who don't think like me. And so I can relate in all kinds of ways to how you might have been like wanting to do this, like, or not been able to because of your family, because you live in an apartment complex, because you have a bunch of kids, you have a 1-year-old that wants to wake up at 1 a.m. and stay up till 7 a.m. Like all those things are really valid, super valid. And I'm trying to make this the most accessible as it can. So this is not like 100, it's not like 100% where you're like, don't do like I did in my old family unit and then like say like, this is what we're doing, please get on board. Instead, just change your own habits slowly. Add new things, add new darkness in to your evening. You know, like understand that the darkness is just as healing as the light is what I want to say. Yeah. So, okay, why turn off your lights at night? Why turn off your phone? Plus, one thing though, it's easier to turn off your phone now because we're not waking up to our alarms or taking our kids to school or having to be late from things. So not only is it a good time to do this because it's summer and the nights are shorter, but also because we can't go anywhere. That's just the truth of the matter. And it's a good time to practice not waking up to an alarm. And if you have to wake up to an alarm, then I understand that too. So why would we do this? Yeah. I believe that more time in the darkness, and this is coming from someone who as a kid was afraid of the dark, by the way. When we tune into more darkness, we are only tuning in to like ourselves. I mean, there's things around us, obviously. Like I can hear my husband playing poker in the kitchen, you know, like I can hear like all these things. My kids' YouTube is going on too. But there's a container that darkness gives you. And that container is a place of alchemy. It's excellent. If you are uncomfortable in the dark, like I was uncomfortable in the dark, then it's a great time to, I believe it's a great time to get to know the dark and who you are in the dark too. Because it's not easy, especially our generation of people, it's not easy to sit still. It's not easy to not do anything. It's not easy to think about all the things that are tormenting you because we have a lot of responsibilities during the day and people that depend on us. So this is a practice. This is a dark time practice. And this practice would be available to you every day because as much as we don't control anything, the day and the night, they seem to have a pretty trustable, dependable pattern to how they operate. At least that's how I've experienced it. The sunrises and the sunsets are the most liminal time for visualizing, making magic, finding peace, finding joy, remembering who you are. Like the sunrise and the sunset, if you just sit with the elements all together, you being your own element, there's like beautiful things that can come from that if you put off your phone. And then after the sunset is the dark. And to get familiar with that place too is really transformative. And I don't mean to use a rebirth analogy because I feel like they're way overused right now. I have to agree with my astrology mentor friend, Adam Ellenboss. He's like, rebirth is being used a lot. I'm like, I know, but it feels that way. It just does. Rebirth just feels the way it is right now. Yeah, so let me focus on what I want to do next. Let's see. So why turn off the lights? Why turn off your phone? Why turn off your brain? Okay, let's talk about brain waves and frequency for a second. So when you're awake, our brains go at different frequencies that are numerous, okay? But scientists have really pinpointed these one points as how they correspond to our bodies, and they gave them names. And the names are like beta, beta, alpha, I had to look, beta, alpha, theta, and delta. So beta is when you're awake, okay? Beta is when you're doing math equations, beta is when you're chopping wood, like beta. And then there's this liminal space, which I call like the sunset, for example, or the sunrise. And these things happen at the same time during the day. So your brain, after you're done sleeping, is coming out. You guys, I am going to be real and grab my notes. Okay, so, because I'm nervous. I get nervous on camera. Okay, now I'm prepared. Okay, so delta is when you're fully asleep. Okay, and then theta waves is that place kind of when you're like, say, 50-50 asleep, 50 awake. But going to sleep, you get the alpha waves, okay? So theta is more like a meditative space. It's somewhere in between waking, somewhere in between conscious, unconscious. But the theta waves is the place where I think you can reach when you're awake, but in the dark. So I'll show you. So we have the beta waves up at the top, you're awake. And then you have the alpha waves. And those are when you're like just falling asleep. And a lot of people believe that you can reprogram your brain by listening to different things when you're going in the alpha wave state. So right when you're waking up, it's a good time for affirmations. True or not true? And right when you're going to sleep, it's a good time for that subconscious like mind programming thing, or to put on, like the alpha wave so that your brain can be clear. It's like flossing the brain. That's what I've heard it explained as. And then you go, and so at night you go from beta, and then you go to sleep to delta, and then you go back from delta and you wake up to beta in the morning. And it's just like the sunrise and the sunset. If I haven't made that connection yet, I hope to translate that. And so our brain waves, like the frequency, they rise and fall like the sun. And so the time when the sun's down, you could match that in an energetic standpoint only. You could match that and then be like, well, I'm going to focus and relax my body. You could go all the way to meditation. If you're a nighttime meditator, that's cool. I can't nighttime meditate. I fall asleep, or I want to go to bed and go to sleep. But I am a nighttime daydreamer, is what I call it. So I like to lay in bed and think about the things that would bring me joy. And that's one of my favorite things to do, like before I go to sleep. That and have sex, but we'll get to that later. So I also believe that if you can visualize or try to manifest that, that word manifest, what you want at that time before you actually fall asleep, then you're in that theta zone. That is subconscious. You think about it in pictures and emotions. So that's why I try to figure out things that are joyful before I go to sleep. Because I'm like, if it brings me joy, then I trust it, I believe it, that's for me. So I think that if you're a nighttime meditator, then meditating at night is probably super powerful. I just don't know why. I just can't. At the end of the day, the sun's down and I'm like ready to go to sleep. Like I'm good. I journal, I might read. I don't read that often because I like to understand and inner source what the hell's going on with me for that whole day. So normally I'll either write or I'll do some mantra. I will do the sexy time. Sexy time is, okay, nighttime, sexy time, that's my favorite time to do the sexy time. So let's just state that. And then, fall into a really good sleep. A really good sleep that, by the way, probably is between 9 and 10. Or if I can, which is because I have kids, it's like really hard to get in bed before then. But if I could, I would be in bed by 8. I would be, or at least doing something in the dark. And then that calms me down so much. You're going from like beta to alpha to theta to delta. And then when in the morning, you do the same thing. So I hear a lot. I was motivated to do this because I hear a lot of people talk about morning routines and not that many people talk about night routines. I mean, like face routines are all the time. But as far as like spiritual routines, I mean, the morning is just as important as the night. The night's just as important as the morning. And it's good. I've been really struggling lately with not working at night because I made this commitment to myself that I was going to turn the lights off and I was not going to work. But I'm behind on book orders, or what I feel like is behind, but I've been sleeping, which really is a good choice. It's a good choice. And I think we're transitioning from from the Piscean to the Aquarian type age to where we prioritize our self-care because we expect other people to prioritize their self-care so that we all can take care of ourselves enough to fill the cup to take care of everyone else and rise. Like Everest says, rising tide lifts all boats. That's what I believe. So what else did I say? Did I give you suggestions? Let's see, did I give you suggestions on what you can do? Oh, moving the body. That's, you know how I do that. But moving the body. Oh yeah. The nervous system reset and circadian rhythm. You can do your research on circadian rhythm. It's like the natural rhythm in which humans operate, or it seems that way. I just know, like my daughter, she stays up all night and sleeps like during the first part of the day, and it seems so natural to her, and I don't get it, and I try to discourage it. Anyway, that's a mom rant that needs to be somewhere else. But looking at the moon, stargazing if you can. If you can't get a dark room to go into, okay, say you live in an apartment building, say you live with your parents, say you have a baby attached to you all the time, it's worth the try to just, if you want to be fancy about it, you can go buy those blackout curtains if you really want to take this seriously, or you can like pin or nail something like a blanket over your, because you guys, we're in quarantine, this is a weird life right now, so you can pin blankets to your windows. I'm not trying to be weird, I'm just trying to get you to have better quality sleep and basically reset your nervous system. If you turn all the lights off at night and you don't have all this stimulus, then it's almost like your body fully rests, it fully de-stresses. Like, so sometimes you just have to block those things, like energetic blocks. You just have to block the light out. If something's blinking and beeping and having the time, then put tape over it or put a book on it, like Catty Crooked or something. And really, this is all an effort to help you get more in tune with Mother Nature. Okay, I used to say that my Mountain Bound Book brand was for earth lovers, and I do believe that because I really love our planet, and I really think that it's full of abundance. We're just not managing it properly. I'm not even gonna hate on people that are managing it. I'm just saying, like, once you try something over and over again and you get like a shitty result, shouldn't you change the process? And there's so many, the more I grow up and learn, and in my 30s especially, like, I'm seeing so many solutions that aren't being utilized because they don't make money or they take more time or they, I don't know. It's just, it's kind of, that's a tangent. Okay, my favorite season to do this is in the summer because it's hot during the day. You might take a nap during the day, you might not. The night is short. You're probably not going out to any parties necessarily. But if you're awake and it's nighttime, then try being in the dark or try being candlelit. Sam says, what specific benefits have you seen from your personal practice with this? Can you feel a big difference? Yes. I don't wake up tired anymore. I don't wake up achy. I feel like a lot of times whatever we ingest right before bed is actually brought with us right when we wake up. Have you guys ever experienced that? Like if you're reading a story or watching a series, say you were watching Outlander or something, and then you wake up and you think about those characters, you feel like your dreams were about those characters. I've replaced characters or games or media or someone else's energy with my own by just turning it off at night, looking at the stars, noticing the patterns of life. And that's the biggest benefit. It's like I'm turning off other people and turning on to my own inner standing and myself. And it's like clarity. It's like something when I didn't know what to share with people, I had to look at my life and like look at what I'm doing. And I was like, if people would just turn off their stuff at night and spend time with themselves and time, like you don't even have to spend time with other people, dude, because we're around each other all the time. But spend time with yourself. It's like, what did Everest say? She said, your soul is saying, hey, spend time with me. Like, spend time with you. Like you need, I've been spending more time with me and ideas are coming at me like crazy. I'm not dreaming. I don't normally dream unless it's a nightmare, normally. That's weird. And I'm not dreaming, but I like get all kinds of downloads as I'm like sitting there, as I'm doodling. Like a lot of the stuff that I like to do sometimes is at nighttime. Like I'll write mail at nighttime by candlelight. I will do some yoga stretching. One thing about music that I didn't mention, unless you have a record player, which doesn't really cause a lot of light, one thing about music is sometimes I'll pre-plan what I want to listen to that night and then just have it on my phone so where I can just push play and then turn my phone over and then not see that light like anymore. It's like sometimes I plug in my speaker and then like I'll turn the speaker off and I won't have to see it anymore. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to, sometimes I get in the mood to listen to music and like draw, doodle things, things that aren't work for money in an effort to spend time with myself because it's almost summer. It's just spring now, I understand, but it's almost summer and those days are going to be so long and hot. And I'm going to need some rest, you guys. Sam says, it will definitely affect dreams for me. I love that. Dreaming of Earth sounds beautiful. Yeah. There's other things I wanted to talk about. I appreciate you being here. So I journal a lot at night. Yeah, I journal a lot and usually do it by candlelight, but sometimes if I need to do cool stuff, I put on my headlamp. It's so bright, you guys, so bright. But I usually don't use this because it's so bright. I got a cool invention from just, let's see, a couple months ago. I found this book light on Amazon. It's an amber book light. It is orange and it gives off this really cool orange glow that is non-invasive. They say that it's blocked, it doesn't have any blue light in it, which is cool. It has a USB charger. Oh yeah, I didn't show you. This headlamp is USB chargeable. It's great. And then it comes off as a flashlight. Sometimes you need some light at night, but you don't want to turn on the light. You just need to go get a juice or something. I don't know. Speaking of juice, I have a smoothie. Okay. So this thing is my favorite thing in the whole world. I actually, when I come out with my ritual boxes for the Book Witch services, I want to include one of these in every box. I do so bad because it has saved my nighttime life. This thing is amazeballs. It's just as soft as a candle glow, but you can direct it anywhere. You can direct it up towards the ceiling and your whole room will be like a soft orange amber glow. And I read bedtime stories. Once I started reading bedtime stories to Xena with this thing, it made her just like 50% sleepier most nights instead of like the full overhead light. Super helpful, super amazing. That really is like my favorite nighttime tool in the whole world, and it's rechargeable. You guys, if you live off grid, you might have one of those solar power banks. I don't have one yet. It's on my to get list, but I like rechargeable things with coupled with solar power banks so that you still don't need to depend on electricity necessarily to have a nighttime light. Indeedy. So if you want to take writing in a journal a little bit further, I custom make journals. And I started a Book Witch service when shit hit the fan. And I know the people on here right now, Sam, you've already worked with me and I appreciate you so much for doing that. It's a beta version. It is, sorry, I just kicked the chair. Beta version, I'm doing it at $35, which is an incredible value because my books of that same caliber are $45. And that includes shipping, US shipping. And we go through and there's we have 3 meetings and our first meeting is gathering the bones where we figure out all the things that you love to figure out how I can build a book for you. And then the second meeting is spell weaving. And that's where you make a spell or you decide on a spell. And I'll bring book covers that I've gathered from our last meeting and we will gather, excuse me, we will gather and we will exchange those things in our second meeting. and then I'll bind up a book for you. And this is all very, very ritual. It's I light a fire, and fire's my thing, if you didn't notice. And then we basically get to build a book together. Like it's the coolest idea that I've ever came up with for getting what I wanted to do in real life, getting it online. I'm like, wow, I get to spend one-on-one time with my friends and my people that I consult them on making a book, which is what I've been doing for the past 2 years anyway, but now it's online. And now I can put my own tools and practices in it. Man, it's just really exciting. It's in beta offer right now. You can use the link in my bio, or if you're on YouTube, then you can scroll down and the link is right there. And it's the beta offer. And what's cool, Instagram just ended. Okay, I'm gonna get it back on. Oops. I didn't realize I've been talking for an hour. Can you tell this is my first time? Okay. Oh, I'm on a live call right now. Okay, so I didn't realize I've been talking for an hour already. Hi, Sam. So what I was going to say is that basically it's important that I get back on live for real because I didn't give you the journal prompts. Thanks, Sam. She says that you're a pro. Okay, so I was going to say last time that I'm also giving one of these away free. So if you go to my link in bio on Instagram or the link in the description on YouTube, then you will see that I'm giving one of these away every moon cycle. So all you have to do is get on my email list. I don't send very many emails. I'm actually just beginning this journey, if you didn't know. And it was really, really be helpful because I have like not a good email list, you guys. And so if you want to enter to win my Book Witch services, then just go to the link in bio and then enter giveaway. But that is going to be the full moon. So you know you have like a month to enter that in case you're wondering. So let me give you some journal prompts. Journal prompts. I'm looking at my notes. I really need to do this without any notes because I look down at them. Okay, so Taurus new moon, that's coming up. Journal prompts. What are you really motivated by? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Is there anything that you can produce that you actually consume? Consumption can leave us like hungry for more, but production leaves us proud and ready for the next level. I think so. What results do you want to produce? Production, less consumption. What feelings do you want to have? What feelings do you want to feel on the daily? When I go to sleep in my dark time, that's what I call it, by the way, I call it my dark time. And so instead of like I'm on my moon time, it's like I'm on my dark time. And so I'm trying to like tell my family that that's what I do at night. I go into my dark time. So yeah, it does leave me proud, by the way. That's one of the feelings that I wanted for this year. I wanted to feel proud. I wanted to feel proud of how I live my life. I wanted to feel proud of what I do with my day. I wanted to feel proud at what I produce, not what I create. So in stillness, let's figure out what's coming up, In stillness, just write it down. Like you can flush it down the toilet. No, don't really flush it down the toilet. I'm just joking. You can Yeah, you could burn it, throw it away. You can keep it forever until you're 98. It doesn't matter. I feel like the darkness is the perfect place to actually be heard by yourself and to spend time with yourself. So in stillness, what comes up? In stillness and in silence, what is there? All things that you could ask yourself. I also had one profound journal prompt that I got from Sarah Verba. She's an astrologer. She's on YouTube and Instagram. Her last name's spelled VRBA. Hey, Zena. She says, what is your true nature asking you to show up for? And I was like, dang, that's good. What is your true nature asking you to show up for? Come here, Zena. This is my youngest one. Okay. So I appreciate you guys being here with me. Thank you so much for being here on the very early videos, which is my YouTube. I was inspired to do this and just take action, which is exactly how the Book Witch, Your Mountain Bound Book service came up too. And yeah, it just came up and it's like, take action. And it's like, okay, I will. I was like, what? I'm not ready. And it's just like, take action. I'm like, okay. So on this, I'm going to try to do these every Tuesday. I'm going to do these every Tuesday. And I'm going to upload them onto YouTube, even though I don't have everything ready for my YouTube channel yet. And this is not what I imagined my first YouTube video being. I'm still going to do it because I'm being called to do it and to take action and to be responsible. So thank you everyone for being here with me. Thank you so much. I hope that you can invite more dark into your evenings instead of avoiding it, because it's really actually a healthy place to be, you know? It's a beautiful place to be. So I love you all. Thank you for being here at the beginning of my journey. You guys are like my inner circle. I love you so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Mama,
Yeah, baby.
For your first video, for your first video, and if you want to send it to YouTube, you should plan on like playing with toys.
I should plan on playing with toys if I'm gonna have a YouTube.
Yep.
Silly mommy.